Hi, and I'm Liam.
Enjoy our play!
Adult education comes in many forms. Going back to the definition of adult education is the process by which a person seeks to improve themselves or their society by increasing their skill, knowledge, or sensitivities. For our creative artifact, we decided to focus on a form of adult education that goes beyond the scope of this course. We often consider ways that parents educate their children, but the idea that children can educate their parents is often ignored.
Through 4 skits, we will demonstrate how parent-child interactions have a bidirectional relationship and how these interpersonal influences align with the definition of adult education by their effect on thoughts, behavior, and emotions. Through each family scenario, we will show how the child can be the educator and contribute to the parents' learning by improving themselves or their society in some way.
Nutrition course, we're learning about the research to what to put in your body.
Really? I wish I could have taken a course like that. I always wanted to learn more about nutrition.
Yeah, this cancer researcher told us the best thing you can do in terms of your nutrition to prevent cancer is take fish oil tablets every day. He showed us the research behind it, and it's really amazing. He also said that if we put flax seeds and chia seeds into our smoothies, we get omega-3s, which are good for brain health.
Wow, that is really interesting. I'm glad you were able to teach us that. I will go buy some tomorrow and we can all start taking them. And maybe I'll buy a book about it too.
This skit demonstrates the child's influence on their parents' lifelong learning, as well as differences between formal and informal education. Many assume that as a person gets older and formal education comes to an end, learning does as well. However, learning and education mean slightly different things. Learning is a broad term referring to elements which will produce a mental change in construct and influence behavior. Education, on the other hand, refers to an organized way of providing the opportunity to learn. This child-parent interaction relates back to Spencer and Lang's definition of adult learning, as well as contrasting the benefits of both formal and informal learning. In addition, these parents would have faced numerous barriers that would have hindered them from obtaining a post-secondary degree. Both formal and informal education fulfill some aspects of the definition of adult education. Under both types, the parent or child will be improving themselves and likely their society by increasing their knowledge and an awareness to nutrition. In this case, the child has been educated through formal learning at a post-secondary institution. With what he has learned, he can now educate his parents at home in an informal setting, indicated by the fact that it occurs outside the curriculum of an educational program. According to Daniel Shagurensky, informal learning can be broken up into 3 types. In this case, the parents are participating in all 3. The first is self-directed learning, which the mother makes an effort to do by saying she's going to read a book on nutrition. Second is incidental learning, which is also demonstrated in the skit by the fact that this was an unplanned learning experience for both parents. Third is socialization, which can be similar to incidental learning since both types indicate a natural, spontaneous conversation and learning experience occurred through this social interaction between parent and child. Can we turn on the radio?
No, you know I don't like hearing about the hard times in Canada.
But Mom, I want to listen.
Fine.
Wow, do you hear that? They're trying to tell us how to live our lives again? My dad always told me that hiding money under the mattress was the best way to save money.
No, I think they're making some good points. We do need to start saving money so we can buy better farm equipment.
With the credit union they mentioned, they will just steal our money when the market goes down again.
Actually, Dad, I learned about this in school. Credit unions are good for saving and building credit so we can get better equipment. Tim's family has been doing this and they're about to get a new tractor.
Example of the parent-child relationship demonstrated within the frame of adult education. The Farm Radio Forum was a great landmark in the history of adult education in Canada. The Farm Radio Forum was founded in 1941 and was broadcasted until 1965. The scene demonstrates how the parent-child relationship dynamic can be altered with something as simple as the radio. In this scene, both the parents and the child are being educated through the radio content as well as guiding the discussion that follows. What is unique about the education via radio is that it provides families such as this with a way to interact and discuss topics that would not be otherwise discussed. In an interview with Gordon Selman, a professor at the University of British Columbia, he points out that the radio form created a sense of citizenship and unity that rural families, as it provided the opportunity for conversation within the home, whereas seen in this example. The child has the opportunity to educate his parents on saving money. A study by the REF looked at teenagers' influence on families' financial decisions. They found that for the purchasing of some products, the teenagers' expertise was valued along with the belief of the product's importance and usage. This is similar to the impact of the teenager's knowledge on saving money has on his parents when they're discussing at the dinner table how they are going to find a way to buy a new tractor. In addition, this dinner table discussion transforms to a storytelling format that mimics how knowledge was transferred in other family members in pre-colonial cultures. Our current westernized education system has forgotten this value of spoken knowledge, as all ideas are now directed through empirical research. First Nations, Hindus, as long as other religions have focused on holistic knowledge and developed where each story can be tracked back for generations. This transfer of knowledge relates to how fathers passing down his tricks of saving money, as well as relating to how the child shares his knowledge on what he knows about saving money to help them eventually purchase a new tractor.
From a post my friend shared on Facebook.
I've never heard of that. What is it?
It's a movement advocating for social and political change to decrease our production and consumption. This will improve our planet and improve our sustainability. Look, this article suggests we start decreasing our waste by starting to compost our leftover food scraps and reduce our use of plastic bags from the grocery store to keep them out of the landfill.
Wow, your generation thinks so differently than when your dad and I were teenagers.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we start doing these things. Look at all these plastic bags here that we've used at the grocery store.
I've never thought of doing those things, but you're right. They seem important to start doing.
This skit demonstrates another example of the bidirectional relationship between parents and their children. Compared to the mother's generation, the child has grown up in a time where climate change and the importance of sustainable living has been emphasized throughout their education. With a topic like global warming, the role of parent teaching the child is flipped, and now the child has more knowledge on the subject to take on the role as teacher and educate the adult on the worsening state of climate change. This importance for active discussion outside of the formal system aligns with the ideas of two influential figures in adult education. Part of Paulo Freire's work was the idea of conscientization, which emphasizes the importance of people being aware and thinking critically about their society in terms of politics, the environment, and the economy. Jack Mazerow is known for his work in transformative learning. He discusses two types of learning, communicative and instrumental, which in this case, in the mother and the child, will help them to analyze empirical evidence and form a knowledge base on climate change. From this, they can interpret the evidence and apply what they learn to current social norms that are dictating our production and consumption. This is a highly debated topic in adult learning, with current neoliberal nations driving post-secondary education to undergo privatization, exponential tuition increase, and teach only employable skills. Freire also criticizes how the teacher is just a narrator and learner repeats the story without any critical thought or discussion of their own. A benefit of the bidirectional relationship is to improve this by returning to the definition of education, which is aimed to transmit values and shape citizen behavior. Having the child teach his mother what he has learned at school will allow her to improve her learning and have her think critically on how her actions are directly affecting her environment. Tell you, I'm going to be taking evening classes during the week so I can pursue my education in order to get a better job. I need to be able to support you until you're fully grown up.
I don't want to go to night school with you. That sounds boring. I'd rather stay here and play.
Well, there's no other option. I can't leave you at home alone, and I need to advance my education so I can get a promotion at work. Supporting you on my own is difficult.
But I'm nervous. Who's going to look after me?
Don't worry, the YWCA is a fun place and you'll be taken care of by the nice staff there. You get to play with all the other kids, and it won't be long.
doesn't sound so bad. I guess I'll come with you.
Okay, let's go.
Hi guys. Hi Liam. Come on in. We're excited to have you here.
Hi.
Don't worry, Liam, you'll have fun here. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll see you soon. Enjoy
Bye,
your class.
Mom. Have a good class.
This is our last example of how a parent-child relationship can influence adult education. 1.2 million women are single parents and will face situational, institutional, and dispositional barriers when trying to gain an education. As explained by Desjardins, populations that face significant barriers to accessing adult education include women, families from low socioeconomic backgrounds, people with low-skilled jobs, as well as only obtaining a high school education. This skit depicts a mother that is facing many of these barriers. Frequently, people with low levels of education will also show a lack of self-confidence in their abilities as well as a lack of readiness to learn. Finding an evening class at the YWCA to further her education will provide an opportunity for her to improve her career success as well as guaranteeing a better life for her child. Desjardins describes McCluskey's individual social interaction model, which indicates that participation will continue if the learning activity is consistent with the learner's needs and expectations. In this skit, the mother's needs are met by the YWCA providing a class in the evening after her shift is over that includes childcare for her son. A bidirectional relationship is seen in skit to the child's need for financial and emotional support, which in turn influence decisions that the mother will have to make to provide for herself as well as the child. Even though her child is too young to go to school, he is unconsciously influencing her education. By the child being dependent on his mother, the mother is motivated to gain a higher level of education and apply for a better paying job, which will in the long run will set up a better life for her child. Through these skits, we see that relationships between a parent and child can be quite powerful. They continuously shape and educate one another throughout the lifelong learning process.
We hope that these skits demonstrated different scenarios in which this relationship can contribute to adult learning.
Thanks for watching.